with the talk of the mainstream media doing everything they can to badmouth this tax plan, I think it's a good time to remind everyone what the Grace Commission exposed. Few remember the Grace Commission, even fewer remember what it exposed. Every dime of taxation collected in the U.S., every single dime, goes to pay interest on government debt only. Taxation does not pay for government operation. People ask, how can the government overspend its budget? How can they do that? Well, the answer is quite simple. The budget's not real. Every government in the U.S., right down to every school district, is extended a line of credit from private bankers. A line of credit in the form of what we would consider a blank checkbook, a credit card, with the understanding that the only thing the banker requires is that the interest be paid on whatever they spend. Now, once you understand that, other things start to fall into place. Why do the Democrats scream and holler about tax cuts? Well, tax cuts means they can't borrow more money. Why are the Democrats working so hard for forced immigration? Why do they work behind closed doors to bring in so many immigrants and not tell anybody? Why did they flat out lie about it? Well, that U.S. dollar, not backed by gold, is backed by the American people. The government put the people up and said their work is what backs this dollar. And when they work, we're going to tax them to pay the interest. So when they bring immigrants in, they sign them up. As soon as they sign them up, they could borrow more money against them. You see, they can't borrow more money against us. They've already run all that credit out. That's why they don't care about us. That's why we have homeless in the streets. That's why we have vets not getting the care they deserve. Because the government, the administrations that were in place, they're not going to make any money on them. They really don't care. But bring new immigrants in and they can start borrowing money. Hey, we have new collateral. Look at all this collateral. Now, a lot of these career politicians, if not every one of them, know exactly how this works. So when they hear tax cuts, they scream because their cash cow's being cut. There's nothing they can do about it now. What's important is that America remembers and learns. You gotta look and you gotta dig. You gotta find out how things really work. Nothing works like you're told. And here's the thing. It is so easy to fool somebody, but it's virtually impossible to get somebody to recognize the fact they've been fooled. And the hardest thing is once somebody's fooled themselves, forget it. They're smart, they know. Well, Trump made this tweet about the Washington Post article saying that he was thinking about dropping Gorsuch. When Trump brings this up, the first thing you hear out of the mainstream media, the New York Times, the Washington Post, is he's attacking the press, the media, and we have a constitutional right. Well, I need you to pay attention. They do not have a constitutional right. And here's why. The Constitution protects a free press. And the mainstream media, New York Times, Washington Post, and the likes, they are not a free press. They are professional propagandists. They are all owned and controlled. The free press is sites like Zero Hedge, Daily Caller, True Pundit, Gateway Pundit, Mike Cernovich. There's one with the gateway caller, I think it's Luke Rosiak, is the only one reporting on the Awan brothers. The only one. Now, the Awan brothers gained access to every keystroke of all of Congress, the State Department, and Debbie Wasserman Schultz covered for them. They were collecting millions. They were selling the secrets. And America doesn't have a clue. So, don't think you've been fooled. The ones you think are a free press are not a free press. They produce propaganda casts, to take a phrase from Lionel. When you understand how things really work, everything starts to make sense. Congress doesn't do anything stupid. They do what they're told because they're employees. And they're not employed by the American people. I mean, they've really made that clear. Just the American people don't want to face the facts. Now, don't expect Donald Trump to know all this because he's been fed the same line of crap we all have. It takes some real digging to learn and find out what's going on. So here's something for you. Look up Operation Mockingbird. Find out what it is. It's still in place. It's still working. Anything out of government, remember, the label is always a lie. Here's a little something I want to throw in on the side. It really intrigues me, always has, that when you bring up an issue or a subject of what people tend to do, how someone that you didn't even have in mind jumps up and says, "Hey, you're talking about me." These people always have to make everything about themselves when it has nothing to do with them. What gets me is, how can they see that no one else does that? I still ponder that people can be that narrow-minded. Now, you know, being narrow-minded is not so bad as long as you're aimed in the right direction. But the people who are really smart and want everybody to know how smart they are, they don't even know where they're going.